Hi everyone. I'm here with Annie. I just met Annie for the first time through a common friend of ours. And what I was really inspired by Annie is looking through your Instagram
Hmm.
and how it's so rare for me to see someone in Thailand who is really about wanting to help others, especially with there's mental health is such a huge issue. And for me, I'm like, I go on social media. I think globally right now, everyone's kind of flocking towards the trend. But I think there's like a new trend that's coming, and a new trend that we want to create with the local market is to have people know that not being okay is okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think that's the beginning of the first step of mental health, or what everyone is trying to promote right now, even like singers in the West world as well, is like, yeah, Demi Lovato said it's okay not to be okay. And that's just sitting with your feelings. You gotta feel to heal. That's one thing I want to put out there first.
Annie,
Yeah.
can you tell me more about yourself? Like, why did you decide to create the content that you're creating?
Right now.
Yeah, right now.
Right now. Well, it just felt like there was something inside me that needs to be said. And this all came from direct experience because I was depressed and unaware that I was depressed. I think many people currently are going through this because in Thailand there's not enough resources. We don't know what depression is, or we have like a false idea of what depression is. Mostly, well, I know like my family, they had no idea of what mental health is or how it existed. And I only learned about depression properly when I went to the States for school. And that's when I was diagnosed with depression. Um, and I didn't go to the clinic myself. Like my teacher had to walk me there because she thought like something's going on, like without her, I would have no idea that I should go into the clinic and get help myself, right? But even so, like learning and knowing about the knowledge of depression, it didn't heal me. Healing really starts when you have like the intention of learning about yourself and discovering what is the root cause of the depression itself. Yeah. And after realizing that, and I healed myself, and for a year I started my journey. I realized I started seeing like depression in other people, anxiety, narcissism, like all these toxicness in our culture. And I felt like, you know, humans, they could be so much more efficient. Everyone could be using their potential if they just know what's stopping them. And mostly for me, it's like, yeah, mental health.
So it came from your personal experience. It came from yourself first with
Hmm.
what you were going through,
Yeah.
and that's what led you to eventually create this content of your
Hmm.
own now, is
Hmm.
to be able to share your experience and also further your journey in helping others.
Hmm.
And then we were talking about Western culture versus Eastern culture, where like in on the Western culture, you actually have access
Hmm.
to tools and to people around you who will help
Hmm.
you through it,
Yeah.
versus here, like we're in Asia, in Thailand, where it's still a process. It's still like a long way to go.
Yeah, I think it's only the beginning. After COVID, now Asian culture are starting to realize that like, oh, there is the mental to the health as well, because something does happen when you put someone in a room for a whole year, like the isolation is real. It does something to your mind and your heart. And I think that's why it's becoming more accepting now in the culture, and even pushed by like private sectors as well.
So you've seen a change because,
Yeah.
oh wow.
Yeah, yeah.
And the change that you've seen, like is it mainly in our local Thai market, or you see it overall like in Asia, globally, that people with the last few years with the pandemic, they are more in tune with the fact that there is an issue with mental health?
So I couldn't say for all of the Asia countries,
Uh-huh.
but Philippines just hosted a mental health summit
Oh
like
wow.
last week. And that's for everyone around the world, right?
Hmm.
But Thailand, locally, I've seen change. I've seen corporates bringing in more mental health training. I've seen more workshops going on. I've seen more people talking about it and like being more accepting of people who are depressed. Yeah, so seeing corporates moving forward for their employees, like bringing doctors to talk and all that stuff, like I think that's a
That's a
different.
step.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean, I'm hearing
definitely.
this for the first time. Well, I
Yeah.
mean, I because my coming from like the entertainment industry, what I'm more exposed to is the fact that I see a lot of things that are more heavy and more trending. Like, in the traditional media, we see all the medias, they tend to flock towards what is the current news. And sometimes that adds a lot of weight to your mental health. So
Mhm.
it's good to see that there's a movement happening
Mhm.
and then that people are becoming self-aware.
Yeah, it's happening more and more in Thailand, I would say.
So
Yeah.
Annie, when you do your sessions, like I know you do a Q&A,
Mhm.
is it over your YouTube and also your Instagram, right?
Only Instagram now.
Instagram, which is the Coach Annie.
Mhm.
Do you do your sessions in Thai or English?
Well, English, yeah,
Mm,
because all my clients are in English, and also I did a poll on my Instagram, and they're like English, they want English,
right.
yeah. So I'm like, yeah, and I'm probably more comfortable in English as well. So I do Q&As in English, yeah.
Do you feel there should be more resources for the local market?
Yeah, definitely. And if you're Thai and you're listening to this, there is an app called Sati app,
Mm.
which is an intervention where if you're feeling stressed or you're feeling like you're facing some kind of problem, you can go to the app and you can call them, and someone will be on the other end of the line to talk to
So
you.
this app is in Thai?
Yeah, it's made by Thai
Oh, okay.
people.
So we're
Yeah.
gonna switch to Thai really quickly. มันมีแอปสำหรับคนไทย
ใช่
ใช่ไหมแอนนี่
ใช่ชื่อสติแอป
แล้วก็อันนี้คือสำหรับคนไทยที่อาจจะไม่ได้คล่องภาษาอังกฤษก็สามารถ
ใช่
เข้าไปในแอปนี้โหลดแอปนี้
ใช่
ได้
ใช่
และแอปนี้ก็คือสามารถที่จะช่วยถ้า
ใช่
เราแบบอยู่ในช่วงที่เรารู้สึกว่าเราไม่โอเค
ใช่เราไม่โอเคแล้วเราก็ต้องการที่จะมีคนคุยด้วยที่อาจจะไม่ bias อาจจะเป็นคนที่ไม่ใกล้ตัวอะไรอย่างเงี้ยแล้วก็คนที่คุยด้วยเขาเป็น trained
อืม
professional เขาก็ผ่านการ certify อะไรมาบ้างแล้วเงี้ยเขาก็เป็น listener เสร็จแล้วก็เขาจะมาช่วยเราจัดระดับความคิดว่าแบบมันแยกแยะอะไรอย่างเงี้ยอาจจะให้ tools วิธีการคิดที่เราอาจจะไม่เคยเห็นมาก่อนเนี่ย so it's a really good app
That's
yeah
good. I
อืม
think then there's a start and there's
yeah
actually
yeah
I mean it's slowly but surely, but we're
ใช่
doing baby steps.
ใช่
And then there's all Annie's also a resource as well. So
Yeah,
yeah.
there's resources all over on my page.
Yeah. So I think it's just about having conversations and dialogue out there to let you know that you're not alone. And because you're not alone, there are ways for you to help yourself. Because I think we're living in an age where it's like you have, I think if you look at the overall resource, social media is an overall resource.
It is a big one.
So if you pick and choose the right,
One for you.
yeah, it
Yeah.
works.
Yeah, definitely because that's how I started doing more self-healing as well is like so basically I did not get over depression by going to hospitals and taking meds like because I'm someone who doesn't believe in medication at all. I did unconventional therapy. So I did art therapy with a professional, of course. They're called Persona Studio. They're in Seoul, so in Bangkok. And I did like Reiki. So that's more like spiritual stuff. And I started doing more yoga than usual. I started meditating, but most importantly, I went online and I like went on all like these YouTube videos and just read about like people who had depression, who went through depression, how they got out, how they understood it. So everyone's way of explaining is very different, and you just pick which one resonates with you instead of like just going to one doctor and then having them tell you like, oh, you should do this, you should do this. Like you're getting so many options online and you don't even know it. Yeah.
So basically you've consolidated what has worked for you or what you've researched and kind of just created this consolidation to be able to help others.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. So I just digest everything
right.
and then put it out. Yeah. So that's my job right now.
How long have you been doing this, by the way?
The coaching
Yeah, the
thing, the
coaching.
coaching thing only like this year. So less than 6 months, but
Hmm.
professionally like getting paid. But with people who are close to me, I've been doing it for a really long time.
Right.
Yeah, like actually I had the courage to charge because someone close to me told me like I should be charging. Like it's working for them, like they're getting results and all that stuff. So I'm like, okay, sure. Like I'm gonna start doing it, and it's something I love. It's something I can talk about for days. Why not? Right.
Well, I think when you have resources like what you provide, you have like the general resource,
Mm-hmm.
where you're able to share what you've gone through and like information you have in general. So that's for everyone. And then if you need to do like a one-on-one personal um,
Coaching
coaching,
thing.
then that just becomes another level.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah,
different kind of communication you deliver.
right,
Yeah. Yeah, because when I do make these like general public resources, I do have to think like, okay, what are the things that people need to know that a lot of them don't know, versus when it's one-on-one, it's like very tailored made.
right.
Yeah.
Because oh, that's interesting. So when it's tailor made, that means you really need to understand
Yeah.
your client
So
very well.
everyone comes in with a different stage of life,
Right.
different problems, different relationship issues, different background. Some has been in therapy for 7 years, some has never been in therapy at all. So yeah, it's very different how I approach them.
So we were talking about like Asian culture in general, how there's a lot of things that there's like a lot of hurdles. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, generally in Asian culture in Thailand, it can be we live in a superstitious culture. So it's like a way out for people in general, or maybe like the older generation is to go to a fortune teller,
Mm-hmm.
or to find like a higher sense of
Purpose
purpose,
divine.
divine, but it's not exactly the right way, because you're asking for something as a resolve when you need to be looking inside.
Inside. Yeah. So that's like when you're looking for an external belief, right? And that's not just religions or temples, but money is also a belief, and it's also an external thing. And I think right now that's one of the most dominant belief
Mm.
in our age as of now, not even religion, right? Um yeah, but what we don't know what we believe, so we need someone to tell us what to believe. So actually, if you go inside and you look at yourself, what do I actually believe that's caused me to behave this way? And what caused me to believe things this way? Then you don't really need to go to fortune tellers, you know, to tell you who you are, because in the end, mental health, self-discovery, it's just about reflecting and knowing what's going on inside you.
I'm laughing because I have a cousin who is like in Thai it's like Saimu.
Yeah.
Which means Saimu in Thai means like, you believe in, in fortune telling, in things
Voodoo
that's like
stuff.
in, yeah, black magic, or
Yeah.
things that are beyond, that will solve all your problems. So it's funny because there was like a fortune teller sort of like festival at one of the malls. So like I went over, and what I found that was so kind of entertaining for me was the fact that like I went to see her, and then she was talking to this one like younger girl that she met there, who just went to see a fortune teller, and the fortune teller basically gave her a reading where it was not that great. So
Okay.
she looked really depressed.
Man, yeah.
So what she did was she booked a new one.
Okay.
She booked another one so that she can hear something better.
Better. Oh yeah.
and
Yeah.
and and I think the story is kind of, it's funny because the thing is, this is like the situation, whereas you can't go. I mean, I find life is balanced. You can go, but you need to be able to separate it and
Yes.
not have it dictate
Yeah.
your life,
Yeah.
because it's like then what you're going to want to just hear what you want to hear,
Exactly.
when what you need to hear is actually,
From yourself.
yeah,
Yeah. It's like I think we get so clouded since as a kid, right? You grow up, you go to school, you only hear what the teacher says. And then you go out, your parents tell you what school to go to, you go to work, your boss tells you what to do. You're so like it's like so noisy. You don't even hear yourself anymore. And especially this age with social media, like my generation grew up with social media, so it's even more noisy.
yeah.
It's so fucking noisy, like sorry, but it's like we don't know what we want anymore, and we don't know what's good for us, and we need someone to tell us what is good and not good for us, and that's why we feel lost. That's all.
Annie, you went through like a period where on your social media, like you actually would post and then you would unpost and then you
Yeah.
would delete. You
Yeah.
went through that whole process. Why did you go through that process and of confusion?
um it reflected on my mental health, because that time I was depressed in college, and I had an account which I started since high school when I was a teenager, and that was my main account. Then I got depressed. I started to think that people are watching me too much. Like I feel disturbed. I feel invaded. I feel also worthless. Like the content I was putting out, like no one should be seeing this, you know. So I deleted it. And then I made a new account just to run away from like the old followers because I felt like none of the people here are genuine to me anyways, you know. So that's kind of like a self-sabotaging thought process. So that made me make a new account, and then at the new account I was less active because I was still scared of, you know, people watching me what I would post. um then someone said to me that I think you need to figure out what kind of role you want to be on the platform, whether it's Instagram, Facebook, or whatever. For me it was Instagram, right? And then I was like, okay, well, I just wanted to be an archive of significant memories. And then I start only posting very little of like memories that mean something to me. And then for a while, I discovered that I had this message the world needs to hear about self love and why it's so important. And that's when I decided, okay, Instagram is going to be my platform for communicating how to love yourself and why it's important to love yourself and how you're not loving yourself right now. Yeah.
So once you found who you were, what resonated with you, then basically you haven't deleted yet.
No. No, yeah,
Yeah,
no.
because
It's me,
that's
yeah.
you.
Yeah, it's
So
me.
that's the moral of the story here is
Yeah.
um it's okay to be lost,
Mhm.
but probably because you're lost because you're probably busy defining who you are. And once
Yeah.
you're able to define who you are,
Mhm.
then you don't have to worry about the noise or what people
No,
think.
because you know, like,
Yeah,
yeah, like I think people go to fortune tellers, or go to, you know, in corporate jobs or whatever because they don't trust themselves, right? So many people say they want to start their own business, but they're like, I don't know what to do. I think it's because they just don't trust themselves to get out and just fail.
right.
Yeah, or to find themselves in the process of failing as well. And it's like there's so many mental blocks inside them, like, okay, what if I'm a failure? Or they believe that they need more experience to do something, which is not true because you are born with that, like, that thing inside you already. You don't need anything else. And this is like the heart of being healthy, is knowing that you don't need anything else to be perfect. You are perfect as you breathe and exist.
I
Yeah.
think the noise that's out there actually makes you clouded and confused. And like for myself, it's the same too. I think any line of work that you're in, and if you're able to shed that one layer at a time and then find yourself, then it becomes a lot better. And then you know you're not alone because like
Mm.
we're here together today.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, and it's like a by chance, you know, that like we just attract each other, and we care about the same things
yeah.
and we want to push for the same good topic for the society. Yeah, and I think the more you put out who you really are, who you truly are, the more you attract what is supposed to be yours too. And it's quality because you're putting quality out there, you know.
Also, you're also putting out the fact that there are different types of options for you to be able to connect to. So at the end of the day, there's a lot of noise, but then there's a lot of noise that is good for you. So you
Mhm.
know you can pick and choose.
Yes, yes. Life is about free will.
Yeah, exactly. This is going to be one of many conversations. So for this conversation, this session, we're just going to leave it here, and you can follow the coach Annie, and I will be bringing back Annie sometime in the future.
Thank
All right.
you. Thank you for the session.
All right. Bye, guys.
Bye.